Be- Before I start this video, I'd like to tell you to subscribe to my friend's channel called Cyberpunk Game Pals. Look, he has only 13 subscribers and only 2 videos. Originally he had 14 videos, but he decided to delete them because they weren't quite interesting. So he decided to upload Pokemon videos because they are more interesting and he'll get a lot of views. But he still has 13 subscribers. So guys, please subscribe to his channel. He'll be very happy if you will do that. So anyways guys, let's go. One day I walked home from school, and while I was walking home from school, I found a VHS laying down on the road. I picked up the VHS, and on the VHS it said Rugrats, lost episodes. I don't watch Rugrats very often because it's not my favorite show and I'm neutral with it. But anyways, I took the VHS home with me, popped it in my VHS player, and started watching the episode. The episode began with an intro, how usually. But the weird thing was that the intro was very, very weird because the song was playing in backwards, everything was red, and the audio sounded like hell. And after the intro, a title card appeared. And the background of the title card was very, very, very black. And it said with red letters, Angelica's Revenge. After the title card, the episode began. The episode began how Angelica was in her room crying. She was crying and crying and crying. And when she stopped crying, she said, "Why? I always get grounded. And this time I got grounded for a month," and continued crying. And when she stopped crying for 100%, he said, "That's it. It's time to take my revenge." She looked on her bed and took out her weapons out of her bed. And then she said, "That's it. Leave it up to me." Ha ha ha. She went downstairs and her parents were cooking lunch. She pointed a gun at her parents. Her parents looked around and said, "Angelica, put this thing down this instant." Angelica ignored them and didn't talk. She just shot her mom in the back. Her mom fell down and she was laying down in a bloody puddle, and there was a lot of blood on the floor. Her dad got very angry and said, "That's it, Angelica. I'm calling the police on you." And then she took out a knife and slit his throat real hard, and then his throat bones got out of his neck, and then he fell down on the floor, and there was even more blood on the floor. And then the grandpa came and said, "What's going on? What is going on?" And then Angelica said, "None of your business." And then she pointed the gun at that grandpa and shot him. The grandpa fell down and he died, and his glasses fell on the floor and they cracked. And then Chucky, Tommy, Phil, Will, and Dill came. Dill was in his crib. So he actually didn't came, but he was with the rest of the babies. Tommy looked at Angelica and said, "Angelica, how dare you kill our parents?" And then Angelica said, "None of your business, and by the way, I didn't kill all of your parents." And then she pointed the gun at the rest of the grown-ups and shot them all in the face at the same time, somehow. And then they all fell down, and their eyes fell on the floor, and along with their nose, their eyebrows, and their hair. And there was even more blood on the floor. And then Chucky said to everyone, "Come on guys, what are you waiting for? Run." And then they all ran. But Dale was the slowest one because he was in his crib, so he couldn't run. Plus, he was a baby. So Angelica shot the crib, and but Dill crawled away. Angelica couldn't find anyone, but then she found Chucky and shot Chucky in the head, and a lot of blood poured out of his head, and Chucky died. Everyone were so scared that they didn't know what to do. So they decided to all hide in a place where Angelica couldn't find them for 100%. But Angelica still found them somehow. She shut the door of that place and said, "Your babies are 100% doomed." And then she shot all the babies at the same time again somehow. And everyone died. And Angelica laughed maniacally and said, "Now I'm the boss of this house." And then she threw a bomb on the floor. And the bomb was small, but the bomb easily blew up the whole house, and the house exploded. And Angelica said, "Ha ha, my revenge is over. Now it's time to." And before she would say what it's time to do, a message appeared on the screen saying, a title card appeared saying on the screen with white letters, "You are Angelica's next victim." That completely scared the living heck out of me. I quickly turned off the TV and ejected the VHS out of the VHS player and threw it on the floor as hard as I could. The VHS broke into halves, but then I decided to get a hammer and I smacked the pieces with a hammer, and the VHS broke into tiny pieces. I got the pieces and threw them in the trash. From now on, I'll never watch Rugrats again. Never again. Hear me? Never again.